Legend. Yo, dog, it's so good to talk to you. I don't think I spoke to you. The last time I had an interview with you, you and Surf was in the midst of battling. It was a conversation with you and Surf battling, anything like that, man.
Word up. Free Surf, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My brother, we haven't seen you since what, the Old Red Battle? How you feeling? How's the family? How you doing? Mentally, spiritually? How's everything with you, man?
Good, man. Good. I feel good, man. Family is good. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working a lot of different like kind of ventures, business-wise and creatively that I've been working on. And but yeah, I've been good, man. I've been good. I appreciate that. It's good to be talking to you again, brother.
Yes. Are you dabbling with it? You still do the music though? Because I remember. Listen, I go back to the days when you and DMC did a song together. You know what I'm saying? During Grizzlemania, I think it was during that time and everything. You know what I mean?
Word.
Everything like that.
Yeah, I haven't been like working on my own music in a minute, but I'm definitely around a lot of artists. I'd be in and out of studios. I think I'll circle back to the music eventually, probably more on the writing and production side, not necessarily as the artist myself. Like I would want to do that at a certain point too, but for me personally, like, my creative interests are way broader than the Iron Solomon brands, you know what I mean? And so like, I might want to make a certain type of art, but if people don't want that from me, I don't want to be limited by the commerce side of it, and I want to be heard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want it to be. I don't want to make shit that falls on deaf ears. And if I could work with other artists and be able to like manifest their creativity and have it be broader, and also not have to deal with the promo or be the one worrying about if it's going to be able to be financially viable, but just be more on the creative side. I just like that way more, you know what I mean? And it opens me up to be able to paint with a much broader stroke if I'm doing it that way, you know what I mean?
It sounds like ghostwriting, sir. Is that what you're alluding to, sir?
I mean, not that I'm not, or that I don't, or that I haven't.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, there's that. There's also I've been doing a lot of design work and like more creating products, clothing, merchandise, creating content, and working with other artists on that. And then I manage a photographer named New Vegas Films. He takes these moving portraits where it's like, he shoots multiple frames and then strings them together. Everybody, watching and yourself included should tap in New Vegas Films on IG.
New Vegas Films on IG.
Yeah, New Vegas Films, and he's photographed everybody from Stove God and all the battle rappers and everything to Chris Brown, Megan Good. He takes portraits, these moving portraits, and then we do physical prints of the moving portraits. Like I'll send you some video of it, but it's like those like baseball cards that you tilt it and it kind of moves when you tilt it.
Yes.
It's like full size.
I come from the era, of course.
Right.
Baseball cards.
Full size. It was full size where when you walk by it, it just moves.
Wow.
So like it's some like Harry Potter shit. It took us a while to kind of like find the right vendor and develop the right approach to like actually reproducing these physically, because there's no batteries, no electricity, nothing. And we've already we did print. We did one for Ghostface Killer that we got to gift Ghost, deliver it to him, and it's hanging in his crib and all that. We did some for Rockstar, who's incredible producer, songwriter, produced I think almost all of Chris Brown's the 11 project, and we working on one for Chris Brown too. So just being on the art side of things and developing that, Lincoln Vegas, with as many people to take as many portraits as possible, because he's like a graffiti writer, or like it's like Pokemon for these young photographers that are they want to get, first of all, just document culture and history, and then get portraits of anybody who's culturally relevant, like
Right.
collect them all type vibe, you know what I mean? So I've been working with him, traveling with him, and then doing the merch and the design stuff. You know, we just dropped my company with Vegas too is called Corner Store.
Corner store, okay.
Yeah, so that's like the vehicle through which we doing everything from the merch to the prints and all that. And we just released a capsule collection with Lapstone and Hammer, which is like, you know, if you've seen the Philly dunks that just dropped.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
So that was a collab with Nike and Lapstone and Hammer. So Lapstone and Hammer is like the biggest like menswear, streetwear, sneaker shop in Philly, basically, like super Philly legacy. And we released a capsule collection of like hats, you know, hoodie, sweatsuit, t-shirt. That's all around like vinyl collecting. That's a series that we do called Crate Diggers. And so all that was like
DITC, thinking of the crates.
Yeah, exactly. Like baseball jerseys, wool hat with the felt lettering. And we had so everybody should peep that too. I think the IG is cornerstore.academy, but it's in my bio on IG, so you can see like recaps of the release party that we did, and you know, in the content, we produced all the rollout content explaining the whole kind of like narrative and the theme behind the collection. And in the rollout content, you know, modeling the pieces, we had, you know, Questlove and Freeway, and it was Philly, like basically it was the Philly edition of this series. And so we had, like I said, Quest.
You kept it Philly. Right?
Reached the Lost Cause. We had Schoolie D in it.
Schoolie D, first gangster hip hop. Okay.
First gangster rapper in hip hop. We had
Schoolie D, absolutely.
You know, wearing a jersey, wearing a hat. We had Cornbread, who's the first graffiti writer ever, also like wearing a jersey, the hat, all that. Drama. Don Cannon, we had Don Cannon in his studio down in Atlanta to get the flicks and the video and the content, and then the person also that we collaborated with to take the photos for the box, because like the whole thing is like the I wish I had one here to show you, but I'll send you the link and stuff. But the box for the hat, each city that we go to, or each person we collab with to do this series, we have them put together a crate of records that like represents their city or represents like their collection, and then we photograph the crate like from all sides and turn that into the box that the hat comes in.
Is that a group effort? I would think, right? The collaboration.
You know, I'm super collaborative, like, but so you'll see like the box that the hat comes in looks like a crate of records, but it opens up and the hat is inside, and the box itself is 7¼ inches cubed, so it could fit 45s. So like this is the type of like layered, you know, conceptual stuff, like the same thing I do lyrically, where there's layers and meaning and references. The design work is the same way. You know, the hat says Crate Diggers on the front. The patch says Minor League Champions, but it's MINER, like digging. You know what I'm saying? Right. The icon is a diamond, like a baseball diamond, but it's also like a gem you find in the crates. And then
I see it. Okay, I see the analogy. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so then it comes in the box. And my partner on the photography side is Khalif Gamble, who's the son of Kenny Gamble from Gamble and Huff, which is like, you know, they wrote Me and Mrs. Jones, and like Gamble and Huff is basically like the Philly Motown. Like when you talk about the history of Black music, soul music, and then also empowerment and entrepreneurship too. Like in Philly, Gamble and Huff, like they run the city. They, you know, Kenny Gamble, my man Khalif's father, you know, he bought property, built schools. Like they have, you know, charter schools, and he was incredibly active as an activist. And, you know, Philly has a super rich, like, political history with, you know, Mumia Abu-Jamal, the MOVE organization and all that stuff. So to get to work, though, with Khalif, who comes from this legacy family, and then my man Max Ochester from Brewerytown Beats put the crate together, and, like, some of these records in the crate were written by Khalif's father, and then he took the photos, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, some of the records, you know, most of these records were sampled by a who's who, you know what I mean? Like Gamble and Huff. Like if you go to iTunes now and look up Gamble and Huff playlist, like you're gonna hear all the music that our parents made us to, you know what I'm saying? And
do people know that you a real music head though, son? Like you're not like you're a music head, like a real. I'm not even gonna put you in a hip hop head. I'm not gonna put you in that genre. Just a music head. From interviews that you talk about throughout the years and stuff like that, and just to hear you now, to hear you talk, it's still in your soul. I still hear you how you talk. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I grew up in a my family is super musical and just artistic in general. You know, my pop's a musician, my mom's a musician, my mom in the business. Like she was on the business side as an executive eventually, but she also like, you know, trained singer, you know, plays the flute. Like my mom is, you know, multi-instrumentalist, arranger, super successful. And so, and my dad was a visual artist too. And my mom also actually really, so like we grew up with art and culture all around us. And I was just encouraged in my family was like, yo, and growing up in New York, like this shit is a patchwork of cultures anyway. It's like the most diverse city in the world.
Did you tag? Did you do graffiti?
Yeah, hell yeah.
You have to. See, I'm not surprised. Yeah, you tagging. You're bombing, yeah.
You know, come back when the sun's rising, like my brain was dripping paint when I was a even before that, I was drawing comic books when I was like, you know, 8, 9, 10 years old. You know, I played guitar. We always had a piano in the house. Like my dad is the one who taught me how to use equipment to make beats. You know what I'm saying? Like
we did production too, though. That's right.
Yeah, yep, exactly. So I just grew up around it. I love all types of culture in general, whether it's, you know, music, art, food, you know, clothing, like
what school do you go to in Manhattan and stuff? What school do you go to? Art design? What school do you go to?
Man, I would love to go to an artistic school. I applied to LaGuardia for art and for music, but I got into Stuyvesant, which is like
you went to Stuyvesant? Yeah, you went at a 4.5 grade point average. Tell these people to get into Stuyvesant, you have to have a certain GPA to go
so the way it works, like, and people who not from New York don't understand that. High school, even the public high schools in New York can be like colleges where you have to apply and get in. Even junior high schools in New York are like that. Like if you don't want to just go to your zone school that's in your neighborhood, you have to like apply to schools. And it's ill because I realized later in life that most people, they're gonna go to the same school, maybe even through high school. But in New York, because you zigzag, there's people that I like know from high school that I never went to school with, but like you go to junior high with these kids and then you switch and go to a different school. And then when you get there, you'd be like, oh, yo, my man goes there. And so I know if you grew up in the era I grew up in, like we got people in common that you'd be like, word, you know so-and-so because everybody is interwoven. So you might be from the Bronx, but you go to school in Brooklyn or your man goes to school over here. And then he links with his peoples and then but
that's New York City right there.
So Stuyvesant is the way you get in there is like a standardized test, you know what I mean? And so it actually isn't about grades. It's literally I don't know how it is now, but when I was a kid, it was like it's just this test. So you could have been fucking up your whole life, but if you're good at taking standardized tests, and I don't even want to say, yo, if you're intelligent enough, because we all know these things are still culturally biased or it's a particular type of intelligence, whatever you want to call it. But it's basically like a mini SATs.
Yes, it is.
All the junior high school kids take the test, and then the top, 1,000 scores in a city get into Stuyvesant. Then the next like level is Bronx Science, and then
Bronx Science, yeah.
So it's a math and science school, and like I have super close friends that I met that I'm still cool with from that school, but it was not like the healthiest like learning environment to me, particularly because the only music class they had was like music history 101. The only art class is art history 101. Very high pressure. When you hear stories of kids like crying because they got a 98 and not a 100, like I've seen all that shit. You know what I mean? So I was cool in it. I was me. I was the same person, but I didn't really like the school itself or the administration. I felt like, most of my peoples at the end of freshman year either, went to city as or got kicked out. And, the conversations that the administration was having with my people who would get in shit, like it was just real dismissive. Like, it's one of those schools that's like, they care about their image a little more than the student body.
Yes, they do. That's a fact, though. So for you, Ian, was it the music first? I would think before battling, I would think you copying music, copying tapes like we did back in the 80s. You were 80s baby, right?
Yeah, 82.
Yeah, so we're not from the same era, man. We're from the Run DMC, Houdini, Fat Boys, Bismarck, Cage. All right, so we can talk. We have a conversation.
Yeah, so music, it was always music for me. Like, it was always, like, for me, because my family was in music and I grew up around it and I saw them, be successful. Right. It wasn't like, I never doubted that was a possibility. So even from a young age, I was, like, playing guitar, like, imagining that I was going to be Slash on the cover of Rolling Stone. You know what I'm saying?
From Guns N' Roses?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I was, but, and this is like 8 years old, 9 years old. And, like the music that I really started to form around when I was really starting to get conscious of my own music. But, my pops and my mom are introducing this stuff to us as kids too. Like, my dad was a super hippie, like all that shit. So when I'm digging up Jimi Hendrix and Bob Marley and Janis Joplin and he's like, oh yeah, these are shit like, he came up listening to that stuff. Right. So he could help guide me through that. And then as NWA is coming out, as, all these other artists are coming out, my pops is actually like into that stuff. And he's tuned into like the new stuff. So we're in the family car listening to Straight Outta Compton type shit. I'm going to 125th with him buying tapes. I still have the bootleg tapes where they Xerox copy the front and the people fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So for me in that time, it was like, Guns N' Roses, like I said, Bob Marley, definitely.
So you expanded, you kind of like branched out to like, you can listen to rock and roll, heavy metal, go to hip hop, R&B, soul music.
I was into the blues, soul music, jazz. Like, I used to go see Les Paul play, but, he was the inventor of the electric guitar, like jazz. I have a Les Paul guitar signed by him. That's the guitar my first guitar that I like worked and saved up and bought, like that I had him sign when I was probably like 12 years old type shit. And then, Nice and Smooth and Eric B. Rakim, and then
Special Ed, EPMD, Rob Bass, MC Light, Salt Pepper.
Really what did it for me was like Wu-Tang, Nas, Biggie, even really for me also like the score. And then Beastie Boys, like Ill Communication, like there was something about, because these days kids pull from everywhere and they don't even think that they're mixing genres, because like you'll see this is post Dipset with the spikes and the rock and roll dress.
Right.
In the 90s, like I was just telling my homegirl today, I was like, yo, I used to have a Roots sticker on my guitar case. I would have like punk rock kids or rock kids like try to fuck with me on the street if I'm alone and they see the Roots sticker, because they're like, oh, fuck that hip hop shit.
Right.
Doing some hip, some other like, and the hip hop heads will be like, man, fuck that rock shit.
Yes.
It's not like that. But back then, there wasn't really always a lane to know. Like you had to kind of choose. Like, oh, I'm a hip hop kid. I'm a this kid. And something about the collage art of that era and the Wu-Tang sound and the Fuji sound and the Beastie Boys too.
Beastie Boys, R.I.P. Brother Beastie Boys that passed away.
Yep. And that's what opened me up to be like, oh, this is everything I love, and really see hip hop as a collage art where everything I fucked with had a place, because you could sample Guns N' Roses and rap on it. You could sample Bob Marley and rap on it.
Yes.
Like hip hop culture in general is collage culture. It's a postmodern culture where it's always referencing everything that came before it and recontextualizing and combining things in ways that's to me that's what hip hop is. It's like hip hop is like, I'm gonna take things from elsewhere and I'm gonna recontextualize them and use these other references to communicate. And since I was always into everything, I felt like, all right, if I'm gonna centralize my identity and like my love around one thing, this is where it could all come together. Is like, you know, and you see it today. It's like, eye makeup and painted nails and spikes and making trap music. You know what I'm saying? So like, that was where my heart was like that in '94. So so that, you know, that's the thing that really solidified hip hop as kind of like the core of it for me. You know what I mean?
So when did you start writing rhymes?
I started writing rhymes when I was like 9 years old, honestly. Like same time I started learning how to play guitar. It was just like anything I saw, I wanted to participate. Like if I see art that I like, like I said, we used to fuck with comic books. I used to draw comic books and be in art class, taking extra art classes. You know, oh shit, hip hop is catching a wave and people are like, I want to rap too. You know what I mean? So I definitely remember, you know, writing rhymes at that age. And then, you know, I didn't really take it super seriously, probably more until like high school. You know, getting around. I mean, in junior high, we used to freestyle in the math class, and you know what I'm saying. And shout out to my man Den 10, who actually is like a Bird Gang affiliate, who's actually one of the original Dot Mob members too, which is crazy. But this was Den 10 is the D. Is the D in Dot Mob. Like fucks with Smoke Dizza, you know, Harlem dude. You know, that was my man in junior high school. We used to rap together and you know, make beats in math class and shit. But then really, I think when I got to high school, you know, I'm going out and going to parties and shit and being around more girls and all this stuff. Like something about, and I had older homies that were like really, really rapping and freestyling, and that really got me. You know what I mean? And then at the same time, my pops had been, I think he had been at a job where all his equipment was like at the office type shit, and then he left that and went back to being independent, doing his own thing. So right when I really got into like the rap part of it, all his equipment came back to the crib, and now we had like a production studio in the crib, basically. You know what I'm saying? So I started making beats because same thing. I was like, it wasn't like, where can I get some beats from? Like, that's just not how I am. I'm like, how do I do this? How do I do that? You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, I need a producer. It was like, well, if I'm gonna rap, I have to rap on something. I gotta make beats. You know what I mean? Like, it's just always how I've been. Like, if I need an album cover, like I gotta design an album cover type shit. So
were you good at snapping jokes?
Yeah, I mean, you know,
you were a funny kid coming up, weren't you? Were you one of those guys? In New York, listen, that's all we did was snap, right? And rank with each other, right?
Me and my younger brother used to get into it because, like, we went to a private school till I was like 10.
Okay.
Stayed at that school, and I went to public school.
All right.
And so, you know, he was no match for me. You know what I'm saying? So once I was in public school, and this is during the crack era, and I'm coming home calling him a crack baby and all this and that, and like he definitely wasn't feeling it. You know what I mean? He couldn't keep up. So, yeah.
So you wrote rhymes. So you got into the music and everything. So when did the battling start? Is that more like in the lunchroom, but crack? You know?
Yeah, hell yeah. Always freestyling, like in a more organized way. You know, there would be events at like New Yorican Poets Cafe or Wetlands. You know, Wetlands was like the spot for.
Did you go to open mics?
Yeah, exactly. So I would go to open mics, and then they had this battle called Bragging Rights. That was the one that I really, you know, would fuck with. And
did you go to Bad Wednesdays?
I never with Maria Davis.
Maria Davis, right?
In that era, she relaunched it in like 2005 or 6.
I used to love going to that shit. I used to love going to that shit.
Word, yeah. I never went like, you know, with the Jay-Z skit and shit.
But
I linked with her like later. So yeah, you know, just going to those events and seeing people on stage, like this is before the internet, you know, is what it is now, at least. Yes. So I feel like people would cook up their creativity on their block or in their neighborhood or in their borough. And then you have these battles in downtown Manhattan where everybody's coming from these different corners, and you see like, damn, like, oh shit, this is how they wear their hat in Queens, or like, you don't get to see this stuff except to me in person. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I would just shit would blow my mind. You know, you're 15, 16, and you know, a 21-year-old is a grown ass man, like, you know, and you're like, damn, like this is the style, this is how people rap, and that really drew me in. That, you know, it was the only way to get a look really in that era, because you can't post your shit on the internet. You can't, you know, how do you get a deal? How do you get, you know, it was like, oh, I could just write my name on this list, and if they choose my name out of the hat, now I'm going to be on stage at this venue that I go to concerts at. Like, that was the pathway, you know what I mean? And especially being a white dude, like,
I want to go there. I want to take it there. How hard was it for a white dude from New York City, Manhattan? I'm pretty sure in mass ciphers, people looking at you like, damn, he's rapping like that. Like, how many times people look at you like, yo?
Yeah, it's a gift and a curse, because it definitely, you know, it makes it more impactful. It's more surprising. You know what I mean? You know, I never
the shock value, right? The shock value. Can I say that?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You know, and like I said, like you know, my parents raised me around everything, so I never, and you know, in New York, like, you'll have a group of friends where like the friend group is mad diverse. So even things like, oh, he's Jewish or he's not Christian, like that shit was so kind of whatever, because not that we weren't making fun of each other or people aren't saying nothing. You know, I'll still walk through certain neighborhoods and people be like, dude, you know, like before dude was like became a hip hop.
Yes.
Totally, bro, right? Like in the 90s, you're a white kid and you'd be like, awesome,
right?
But like it didn't really occur to me so much to be like, oh, I'm gonna have a hard time. It was more just like, yo, I have to really navigate this with respect for the culture, and I can't just be lazy. I have to earn stripes. Like there has to be more credibility for me to be valid in this lane. And that's where, you know, that's a big piece of what the battle rap shit was. And that's, you know, that it was all around MC shit. Like, yo, you got to be able to freestyle. You got to have punchlines. You got to have songs. You got to have a party song. You got to be able to do some shit for the ladies. You got to have a personal record. You got to have a battle record. So to me, I was like, well, I have to, like, there's no option. You know what I mean? Like I never would have questioned it. It was like, I have to enter battles.
Did you always have confidence?
I mean, it's so funny because I never felt confident or feel confident, particularly like if anything, you know, I feel insecure and self-doubt because I come from a high achieving family, not on some like everybody's doctors and lawyers, but just you know, if you play music, you're gonna work and be great at it. If you do a drawing, you're gonna sit there until that shit is fire. You know, so I expect greatness from myself just because that's how I was raised. And sometimes you can expect greatness so much that becomes the floor where you're going to feel like, yo, I really did that. You feel like, whew, thank God I did that because I have to do, like, that's what's expected of me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm working on telling myself, you know, I'm still working on building confidence, to be honest, just like on a personal level, because like, you know, I always expect so much out of myself, and I know that I'm capable of so much that it's more like stress and pressure to be, you know, I'm like nervous that I'm not going to hit that mark. You know what I mean? So it could translate as confidence, and there'll be times where there are people who you know have told me, yo, before I met you, I thought you were mad arrogant, you were an asshole, whatever, and I'd be like, yo, that's not how I felt. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? Like. So yeah, I think I probably always, you know, I always was with the cool kids, and I was always with everybody. Like I had friends in every single group from, you know, junior high school up to through college to now. I fuck with everybody always, like literally everybody from, you know, every walk of life. But so I think I always had whatever it is, but I never like necessarily like felt it. But you know, it is what it is. But I would say this: I do have a certain type of confidence and a certain type of entitlement. You know what I mean? And I think that, like, you know, some of that is just like white privilege shit, and then some of it is like my parents just being like, you can do whatever you want to do, like do what makes you happy, yo, being supportive of everything. You know, like for whatever reason, they, you know, that's how they raised us. Was like, yo. They didn't push us in one direction to, you know, oh, nah, you need to pursue this, you need to pursue that. Whatever we were interested in, they would support our interests. And that's a privilege on its own. You know what I'm saying? And then
Absolutely.
and then even just being able to go to the Sony offices, because my mom is working for BMG and go to her office, and albums, when we were doing it 8 CDs for a penny out of the Columbia House. Remember, you get 8 CDs for 1 penny, and then you got a subscription.
That's our era. Absolutely.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
I could do that list, and I could go to her office and be like, nah, like these are the albums that I want, and I could get the new Wu-Tang for free from my mom at her office. You know what I'm saying? And then I could go be with my dad at the studio. So again, those are huge privileges, and exposure to that is also instills you with the feeling of possibility. You know what I'm saying? And being like, oh, that's doable. And just feeling that something is doable. Yo, I could do that. I definitely have that type of confidence in spades of like, oh, you want to open a store? Like, you go open a store, bro. Oh, you want to do this? You want to run for this political office? Like, you could do that shit. Like, let's do it. You know what I mean? So I'm confident that anything I put my mind to, I could be great at it in that way. But still, I always step to it with the self-doubt and the, wanting the perfectionism shit. You know what I mean?
Even in ciphers and battles in your early career, you had doubt when you're rapping and stuff like that?
In the early ages, I think there's like a good window of time where I was like, fuck everybody, I'm the nicest. I have to, it's my job to destroy these clowns on stage that ain't upholding tradition. And so there was an arrogance there, probably, and a confidence there. You know what I mean? I think probably once it became pressurized and people know who I am, then I'm like, fuck, is this good enough? You know what I mean? Like to this day, if I do a design and send it to somebody, I flop between this is the shit and it's garbage. I don't even think it's anything. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's tough to tell when you're the creator. You know what I mean?
So was it more satisfaction for you for ciphers or battling people? When did those two start mirroring each other and everything like that? When did you start going outside and started smashing dudes and made a name? And people are like, yo, Iron Solomon, he's dope. I mean, before Scribble Jam, before Fight Club, obviously. I mean, just in that time frame before you merged over there.
I mean, I think it was better because like the ciphers and shit is more, your people or your kind of more regular.
I love ciphers, watching ciphers.
Yeah, and then like to do the battles was more like, okay, these are strangers or this is people that don't know me from whatever, and then make bread, like you get win a battle in in a tournament and get some money, end up on a DVD type shit. So I think the battles definitely that definitely had more legs to it. It was always with the goal of music ultimately, you know what I mean? But the battle shit took on a life of its own.
So how did you get to was it Scribble Jam first? Was that the first big thing for you first?
Scribble.
Oh, I know you did Underground Sessions DVD back in the day. I remember those DVDs back in the day you did and everything.
Yeah, so like bragging rights, like there were definitely other battles before Scribble.
Yes.
I went to college in Ohio, like near Cleveland, and I used to go into Cleveland. They used to have this event called Spitboxing that was every Tuesday nights.
Okay.
Out to my man Suave Gotti, Osage. I know Fonz like rocks with some of the people that I know from Cleveland. You know what I mean? So I definitely was doing, and then I would take Greyhound buses, to wherever, like anywhere I could find a battle. Like I used to be all over the country, to be honest. Like I would take, I'm in school. I don't really have crazy expenses. I'm selling weed. Like I got, this bread, or I have rent money, and I put that toward a plane ticket, and I get in this battle, and I go sleep on somebody's couch. Like we really, like, it was really different. Like I literally would be my boys from Rochester. I went to college with. There's a battle in Rochester. I hit him like, yo, you know anybody in Rochester? Yo, everybody moved out. My man's younger brother still lives there. He's living in these people's attic. I get off a Greyhound. I never met this kid before. I stay in somebody's attic, sleeping on the floor. Go to the battle, beat everybody in the battle. Take the Greyhound home with a trophy and $300. Like that was my life. Like going to cities I never been to, staying with people I never met, and just being dolo for a while. You know what I mean? Scribble was like the mecca, at that time for that kind of style, like tournament style rap battle. Then Fight Club, and Smack, Smack Underground Sessions, like really set it off. Shout to Bal and my man Real Six. Bal was like Lower East Side legend. Real Six is dude from Hell's Kitchen, graffiti writer, skateboarder, who was the video guy, and he's the one who actually uploaded everything to YouTube, because we didn't, YouTube didn't exist when we shot that DVD. I learned what YouTube was when somebody told me, "Yo, you kind of got a lot of views on these videos on YouTube."
And you stopped utilizing your YouTube page years ago, sir.
Bro, I didn't even know what it was. I'm telling you, Real Six uploaded the Underground Sessions battles to YouTube, and people were like, I was the first viral battle rapper, like, period, because he uploaded those videos and it went crazy. And this is at a time where like 60,000 views was like viral.
That was something.
Yeah. And so people started to be like, yo, you got like 40, 50, 60, 70, 80,000 views on some of these videos. And I was like, what videos? And they're like, YouTube. I'm like, what's YouTube? You know what I mean? Like, so literally that was like the first time that I really got notoriety, you know what I mean? And then from there, a lot of doors opened up, actually even Fight Club, I just went and auditioned, and same thing. I think I took a Greyhound home from school to go audition at Fight Club. You know what I mean? Like in New York, I came back to New York to go do an audition. They had me diss International P. Yo, diss
60.
Yeah. And so, man, Fight Club, I used to be on the road with them too. They got battles of mine that never dropped.
Can you tell us, like, what, Serge, out of curiosity, from a hip-hop nerd like myself, I want to know what battles in the stash that we don't know about.
So definitely me versus Locksmith. You know Locksmith from the West Coast?
Locksmith is dumb nice.
Yeah, dumb nice. I don't know why.
Yeah. You good. Locksmith is dumb nice, though.
So me versus Locksmith at the Funk Flex car show as a Fight Club battle. That one was crazy. That battle was before the gin battle, and the first time that I really dove into the like name flip shit.
Yes.
Like, how the whole first round of the gin battle is just all gin. The Locksmith battle, I didn't do a whole round like that, but I had all these like, opportunity knock more when Lock was, fooling with locked doors, but now he locked eyes with a pit bull with locked jaw. It was the first time I really did that. So even though people kind of, the gin battle marks the like, name flips for a whole round, that's kind of like when that was like invented type shit.
Wow.
The Locksmith battle precedes that. Jesse West, remember Jesse West from Bad Boy?
Jesse West battle?
Bro, he re-came out as Dirty Apple Slim was
his
name. Yeah. And again,
I don't know what that was about, but okay, brother.
Same thing. Fight Club at the Funk Flex car show, a different one, because they used to have a Fight Club stage at the Flex car show.
Flex drinks, yeah, word.
And so yeah, I battled him, and then we went to Colorado for All-Star Weekend in like 2004 or 5, and I was traveling with 40 Cal, and this is when 40 Cal, he had the the Jeezy and Akon song where he's like in on a drop because I'm a ride. Yo, that record was a 40 Cal record originally, and they were playing it in the limo everywhere. This is when limos were still popping, like
styles, right.
That, and that was an ill trip. I went to the battle. The battle there they had was like at the mall, and the kid who ended up winning like worked at the mall, and this is a different time and a different mentality. He's a Spanish kid, a Latin kid, you know what I mean? Like a super heavy Latin population in that part of Colorado.
Okay.
And I'm hitting him with the Cheech and Chong, all the super ignorant shit that I like stopped saying in my rhymes like over a decade ago. Just because that's me. People still go with those angles. But it being in the mall, not being in a battle environment, it being like with All-Star Weekend, like I cooked him, but the reaction was like, nah, like this ain't it. And so he ended up winning. and I was high as shit at the fucking hotel room, just pissed. And I'm there, I'm with 40 Cal in the hotel. They had us sharing a room. And I'm like, yo, bro, like, I can't live with this. I'm going back to the mall. Because this is a time where, like, yo, like, you can't take a loss. Like, you really feel away. You know, now
right.
Whatever. I'm already booked for 2 more battles anyway. It don't matter.
Yep.
I really couldn't let it.
Your era is different. Your era is different. Yeah.
Bro, I walked from the hotel back to the mall, and I found this dude because he worked at the mall. And I was like, yo, when you get off work, like, we got to battle again because you stole that from me type shit. You know what I mean? And so he came back. He was like, all right, I'm with it. We had him come to the hotel, and 40 Cal played the role of International P and hosted a battle between me and this kid, like, in the hotel room with the Fight Club cameras. But it was just me and 40 Cal and the one Fight Club cameraman. And, you know, I destroyed him in that battle, of course, but that never came out. But that just goes to show you, it was like, this shit ain't going nowhere. It's not going to be on. No one's going to ever see this. And I still couldn't live with it because that was our mentality. It was like, bro, I can't live with this. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And that was an era where I think I went, you know, I had class on Monday type shit. So I'm spend the weekend with Fight Club, you know, at these parties at All-Star Weekend. Right. And then on Monday you know, then I fly back from Colorado alone to Ohio, and I'm back in college on Monday. You know what I'm saying? So like that was every weekend for me, you know, Greyhound bus or a flight to somewhere to you know, get my name out there.
All right, how much fun did you have at Scribble Jam?
I love that shit, bro. Scribble was the shit. Like,
Did you know you were Immortal Technique? Nobody knew that y'all would be just transcending names in hip hop.
Right, facts. Yep, and
the passwords battle and shit like that. You know,
yeah. Shout to Pass. Yep. It was ill. Like I learned about Scribble Jam because you were talking about graffiti before. Like I learned about Scribble Jam from graffiti magazines because it started as like a graffiti festival, and I think it quickly evolved to include everything. And especially in that era, like we were talking about bragging rights at Wetlands. Wetlands had an upstairs and a downstairs. There was an MC battle on the main floor and a breakdancing battle in the basement. So you literally would be upstairs watching people rap, and then you could go downstairs and see people breakdance. So, you know, Scribble Jam was all that shit. They would have a beatboxing battle, a DJ battle, a breakdancing battle, rap battle, a graffiti battle.
Hip hop shit.
Bro, it was ill, bro. So like, you know, I'm reading a graffiti magazine one day because that, you know, Stuyvesant is not too far from they call it Scrap Yard now, but Bomb the System is like right off Canal Street and Broadway, like the graffiti store in New York. And so, you know, we were there after school every day. And I remember reading this magazine, and it was like, yeah, this year's Scribble Jam, you know, I think it was 80M or something, maybe that one battle.
90M, right? 90M, right?
Nah, there's 90M.
You battled 90M, I think, right? You battled 90M, right?
I did, yeah. I think that's Ilmac's boy. He's like from the Northwest.
Okay.
I think this was 80. I forget who it was, but but I just seen pictures from the event, and then they're talking about it in an article, this C battle, and they'll tell in this round, so-and-so beat this person. And I remember, you know, it's probably 98, 99. And I'm like, yo, like, I gotta get out there for this. You know what I mean? So then when we finally went, it was ill, bro, because it would be a 2-day festival, just vendors all over the place, people selling, you know, T-shirts, DVDs, people doing graffiti there. Like, that shit was ill, bro. And then the motel where everybody would be staying at, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, you go to battle rap events these days, and my wife jokes, she'll be like, oh, you going to summer camp? You know what I mean? It's like,
she's not lying, though. She's not lying.
Hang out with your camp friends, you know what I'm saying? Because it'd be like, oh, you know, and back then, this is once a year, and all of us are like, you know, Ilmac is like 16, 17, 18. Passwords is like 15, 16. You know, I'm 19, 20, 21. Like, so, and, you know, again, before the internet, and before there's real money in battle rap, so to actually all be together in one place, people from LA, people from New York, people from Ohio, people from Delaware, you know what I'm saying? Like, and now we're all kicking it, like it was just dope, bro. It was just a dope like cultural time, like shout to Ilmac, shout to Thesaurus,
WRC, absolutely.
Reef the Lost Cause, Poison Pen, you know what I mean? Shout to all the people who threw the event too, Mr. Dibbs, all the people that were involved, bro. That Scribble is
Side, Imposter, Most Def. I'm all those cats, man.
Legendary, historical,
yeah, man,
important keystone event in hip hop history. You know what I mean?
You and Thesaurus, man. Where do you put that at in your?
Like in the arc, or like do I like it, or like where like
for your catalog, I guess, because let's be honest, that's the first battle that we all really like. Wow, you know what I mean? I feel that way.
Okay.
When people talk about it, would you be with Thesaurus? How do you feel about that battle overall? How many years later?
Like I felt like I lost when we were battling, but again, that's me being like critical, and if anybody's doing well against me, I'm like, oh, it's a wrap. You know what I mean? Like it feels that way. There's definitely like lore around that battle. That's like misguided lore that it was like some strategy for me to like lay in wait and assassinate him. And it really wasn't like that. It was more like, yo, you're gonna be in town and you're the guy. Like I want to battle.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a moment. I think the thing that in me, feeding the confidence, the thing that I think that I brought to the table for a long time is that I've had these kind of, I don't want to say culture defining because that feels a little colonizer-ish, but like these kind of defining moments in the growth of battle rap where people will be like, bro, you ever heard of battle rap? Oh no, yo, watch Iron Solomon verse this, shirt and tie in the barbershop.
Flames or somebody like that, right? Yeah.
Yo, watch him verse this British dude, Mike Assassin. You know what I mean? And then, me and Thesaurus. Then there's me and Math on the last Smack DVD ever. And not only is it the last Smack DVD ever, it literally is the first battle where Smack is transitioning to be online.
Yes.
Only release the first round on a DVD, and then they say go to YouTube.url.tv.
It was Smack YouTube, right? At the time, I think it went, right? Wasn't it?
I think they had a website.
Yeah, a website. It was a website. Because I had to go in and trust me. I know.
So it was urltv.tv. You know what I mean? And so they like, not only is it this defining moment, I think probably the first and only white person on Smack DVD in the battles. First person who was in Scribble Jam, to be, aside from Jin really broke the door open with that, but just bridging the gap between the more backpack freestyle shit and the street shit, and then switching from being on DVD to being online. And then you go me versus Eness, that's another one of those moments.
Grizzlemania, absolutely.
Me versus Jin, another moment where people are going to be like, yo, you got to hear that battle. And then you could go to that and be like, yo, this is the first time somebody name flipped the whole round. Like, this is the first time you hear bars like XYZ. And then, fast forward to me and Rum Nitty, you know what I mean? I feel like though me having those moments that have punctuated battle rap where it becomes the battle that you watch to introduce your friend to battle rap, like that's the shit that I feel like I have stamped and can't really be, even if I never battle again, it's like, those landmark moments, you know what I mean? And me versus Thesaurus is definitely one of those, and Thesaurus is one of the greatest to ever do it.
Absolutely.
I want to know what his IQ is, because I feel like he's, he is a rare intelligence and a rare talent, and there's something, the way that his mind works, where he's able to connect things spontaneously. And I know to this day he'll write for battles the night before, from start to scratch, start to finish, and like it's a brilliant pillar of hip hop and battle rap in particular, and definitely the first person that mad people aspire to rap like, you know what I mean? So shout to the Thesaurus.
How gratifying was it for you to beat Jin? Because at the time, Jin was hotter than fish grease. I mean, I remember his whole run going to Rough Riders and shit. I went to buy his album. I remember those, like, Jin was that dude. Nice. You were the first one that put like a Well, you were Serious Jones, I feel.
Oh yeah, so Jones.
Don't get Jones' props also first.
Jones was like right before me, and I was at that battle too.
He set you up lovely, right? Basically.
He was right before me, and I was there, and it was kind of like, damn. And you
were in the building for that?
I was in the building. Yup, it was at Fight Club. Fight Club used to be across the street at a different studio. It was at where that facility still exists now, where they're at now. And I think they're doing Fight Club again recently there. But it was the new facility. It was like they were still doing construction on it. You know what I mean? And nobody had really like even scarred Jin, and Jones just, to me, Serious Jones was the best at that time. Like between his battle with Jin and him and Mook, I was like, this guy's a problem. You know what I mean? I thought he was the best. So shout out to Jones. And being in the building for that was crazy because you never see Jin bleed at all. And Jones really cooked him, you know what I mean? And then, but he went with the Asian angle, you know what I mean? It was like he had mad Asian bars.
He was wild.
Like two things, right? Like when I started to see battles back and I'd see myself recorded and I would hear some of the homophobic stuff or the like racial shit. I never have been that way in my life. Like like I've never been, there's never been a type of person that I dislike based on the type of person they were.
Right.
We used the F word like crazy growing up in New York. Like even
absolutely.
We would have gay homies or like a gay relative and you still go crazy with it. Right. And bomb too, you know what I'm saying? Like you grow up in New York, people use these words, right?
Yes, in New York City, absolutely. That's like a respectfully.
But I also always was mad involved in politics and social issues when I was a kid. Like even when I was 12, 13, like I used to organize, youth rallies and I would go to political conferences and like, I read Mumia's autobiography. When I got arrested for graffiti, I was wearing a Free Mumia t-shirt. This guy's a cop killer, supposedly.
Oh my God! Wow.
So I was always in that. And then when the college I went to is like super progressive, like the first college that ever admitted people of color, first college that had co-ed dorms. So it's very like what you would call woke college these days. And so I'm learning so much history, and I'm coming from New York where diversity is taken for granted. And now I'm in an environment where it's being looked at through a different lens. And there's people who are at school who come from small towns or come from areas where it's not taken for granted. So I'm understanding that, when I say the F word, I'm not even trying to be homophobic because I got gay homies.
Right.
But if there's a gay person near me who doesn't come from New York or doesn't come from that environment, it's going to make them feel a way.
Offensive, of course.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Same thing like a T Moneybags who might come from the hood, and he has to understand that if he goes somewhere else and he's using
gotta be conscious. Exactly. Absolutely.
So for me, when I started watching myself on battle and putting myself in the shoes of, damn, like the homie who's from Brooklyn, who's super gay, but grew up fighting and scrapping and all this stuff and understands rap,
right?
Still gonna, if he watched this, like he might be, this might hurt him, like that I'm talking this way. And I also know that there might be racist people watching stuff, and if I say some Cheech and Chong shit to a Spanish kid, that actually might be misinterpreted like I really feel that way. Right. It's a battle. And so
I'm gonna cut your wisdom. Is that why, if I go to the Mook battle right quick, how offended you were when he said certain things to you in that battle, right? Yeah. And the Skittles thing, is that why you like, yo, my man, you know what, I don't come at me that way and stuff like that? How offended were you?
Well, I was disappointed by the angle because I'm so not that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like his angle was like, there was heavy Jewish shit, which like, I'm Jewish. That means different things to different people. I'm not into religion at all personally. I did have a bar mitzvah. I did study Judaism, went to Hebrew school, like Sunday school for Jewish kids. People think when you hear Jewish, people think like the Hasidic Jews with the curls. Like I don't even know anybody like that. Most Jewish people are the same as most Christian people. Like you might, like I don't know what type of chain you wearing now. There might be a cross on it, and you might not have been to church in 20 years.
Right.
If you get a chain, it's gonna have a cross. Most Jewish kids,
no cross.
it's just a Jewish star.
Right.
But like they're not like they go to sports, do place. You know, it's the same people.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but I'm really not in a religion like that. So I'm not out here like waving the Jewish flag. It's kind of like whatever to me. And because I am so politically minded and so socially conscious and have been so involved in activism for so long, to be pinned as Zimmerman was just like, it was corny to me. But I'm only saying that to share my experience, because I'm very cautious to not like downplay that battle or Mook, because I you know, it's like Drake and Kendrick. Like I was knocking on Mook's door, like, come outside.
Mook's bitch ass. I remember, dog. Let me explain something to you. So I rock with you so much. I was telling Mook around Summer Madness, yo, Iron Solomon is gonna kick your ass.
Right.
Like, I'm on the battle rap arena, tormenting this man on Twitter. Like, I wanted you to, yo, I never really ride for nobody in battle rap. I be neutral. But that was one battle I wanted you to be Mook's ass. I'm not gonna lie to you and stuff like that, man.
We both. But so, you know, so for me, like, I'm the type of person, like, I don't like even if an excuse is valid, if I see it, it's gonna seem a way. And I don't ever want to be that way. I want to be able to wear. You got to wear your losses. You got to wear your, you know, your shortcomings. You got to wear your flaws. And so I don't want none of what I'm saying to take away from, you know, he played that moment exactly the right way. He waited to battle me while I was knocking on his door till the right moment. He came outside at the right moment, caught me slipping and cooked me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that to be, you know, and I don't throw dirt on his name, because I feel like when that happens, like you see now, Drake posts something trolling Kendrick and people feel like right?
Yeah,
they're like, oh,
absolutely.
To me, I gotta wear that. You know what I mean? But definitely, it was, you know, from a personal and just social standpoint, it was like, bro, like, I'm not no Zimmerman. Like, I'll ride on him with you, like, because that's what time I'm on. And, you know, to channel that energy toward me when I'm really not the one is like a waste of that energy, because that's real energy. But it's battle rap, so it is what it is. You know what I mean? But, and just to complete the thought with the Jin battle, I was like, yo, everybody comes at him with the Chinese angle. At that point, I'm like trying to be really conscious of not putting no racial shit, no, you know, even like, you know, no homophobic shit. And even as time went on, I'm not even talking about, oh, I'm gonna fuck your girl as much. I'm just trying to like be more creative than that. Not because I'm, you know, conservative and, you know, uptight about that stuff, but because I'm like, you know what, that's easy. So I didn't say one bar about, you know, I opened the battle. I ain't gonna rap about your background and origin.
The first thing you said.
I'm not even gonna go there. And so literally, only Serious Jones had beat Jin, and he used all Asian shit. Every battle Jin used Asian shit. I'm like, I'm gonna use no Asian shit and I'll cook him. So for me, that was the biggest part of the win, was like, I don't even have to go there. I don't even have to use the crutches that other people use, and I'm gonna run this race without the crutches, without the race crutch, and I'm gonna still cook him. So for me, that was really the win, was like pushing the creativity. You know what I mean? And again, not being like, it's not about being conservative or being like, oh, I'm not gonna curse.
Right.
Oh, you know, like I don't like to put race shit, because I don't want a racist to watch my shit and misinterpret who I really am and what I'm really saying, or feel emboldened. And I also don't want to do it because that's easy. You know what I mean? If you know that hat rhymes with bat and that's too easy for you, you're gonna push your pen further. To me, I'm like, that shit is easy, bro. Like, let me see you battle Jin without saying something Asian. You know what I mean?
So were you worried, not to fast forward this battle right quick, but since we're staying here with the team, right?
Yeah.
This battle, like, did you know going to the battle that, yo, Diz really going, Diz is gonna push the envelope. He's going to take it there. We're expecting that, obviously, right?
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, listen, you can expect what you want. Is way different when you're in front of it. Always. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, same thing with Mook, same thing with anybody. When you're, and especially in that era, it's not like I'm going to a million battles where Diz is battling. It's like you have to see this stuff online.
Yes, online, right.
corny, bro. Like, oh, this ain't that dope. Like, it's easy to pick somebody apart when you're looking at them through the screen, but when you're in front of them and they're controlling that crowd, it's a whole different energy. You know what I mean? And I think that was one of the best dizzes ever. You know what I mean?
That was a fire battle. I'm not gonna lie. This is nice for 3 rounds though.
Bro, he went crazy. Yeah,
I got busy.
I expected it, and in that battle, I did say some kind of like Arab, Muslim shit, even though Diz isn't Muslim, which is like, even that alone for me and the level of consciousness I'm at is kind of wild because like even that was a compromise for me, but I was kind of like, the part of the place I put it in the battle was kind of me being like, bro, that shit is easy. You could do watch, I could do some race shit and I'll say some Muslim shit and he's not even really Muslim. So I did go there a little bit with the that kind of angle, but I tried to keep it not going there. You know what I mean? Like, just keep that pressure on myself to be more creative than the low hanging fruit like that. You know what I mean?
How much fun did you have writing for Eness? Just watching your material, just that Miami scheme that you did, brother. Jesus Christ, man! But how much fun did you have for that battle, brother?
Man, so that battle, this is crazy because like, people will be like, even what did Chilla Jones was like, oh, you were the best written writer in the freestyle era, right? So like, the freestyle era, like even in in New York or even anywhere, like you would have bars that you use that you throw in, right? You know what I mean? Like you would have like a 4-bar stanza that like, oh, I don't have nothing to say. I'm gonna say this, and then by the time I get done, I'm gonna have something to say about your hat, and I'll find my footing again. And so the transition from freestyle shit to written was not like, it wasn't like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna just write some rounds and other people freestyle. It was like, yo, everybody comes to the battle with their little bars that they have, and then on the spot mixes it in. And I never know who I'm gonna battle, so I show up the same day, and you're pacing the room, looking at everybody's outfit, and literally coming up with shit before the tournament starts.
Rum Nitty.
Exactly. So now that you're telling me I have a week and I know who I'm gonna battle, bro, I'm gonna have mad rhymes, but I still wasn't structuring rounds. So for the Eness battle, I literally I was on my honeymoon for that. I was just writing. I never even looked at my material until the night before in the hotel. I never timed it. I never went through it. And so everything I had was just pieces. And I started to go through it and I was like, yo, I got like 9-minute rounds. And I called Direct and I was like, yo, Direct, like this stuff I put together is like 9 minutes. And he was like, let me hit Eness. And Eness was like, nah, bro, like I got my rounds like clear. And so the night before the battle, I had to play Tetris and like move all the pieces around, and so at that point, I'm still jumping between couplets in my head. I'm not going through a verse in order. I'm like jumping from these 4 bars to those 8 bars, doing this freestyle shit, then switching that. And, you kind of have these building blocks in your head that you just like know how to piece together in the moment. You know what I mean? So, so yeah. I mean, it definitely fun, but also going back to the insecurity perfectionism thing, that's an era where I literally had no idea what Eness was going to come with. And in my mind, I'm like, well, if he said yes to the battle and he knows who I am, he must think he can beat me, which means he must have some shit. So I literally am going into every battle thinking like, yo, this person is in their war room, like getting ready for me, and I might die because anybody could die at any moment back then because you don't know what people are cooking up. You can't see his last battle doesn't drop. You know what I mean? Like it happens. And then you hear rumors about it. Yo, he killed him. He could have said a simple ass bar that a bunch of people bugged out about, and you just hear legend. You don't see it. So I literally had no idea. I'm going into that battle like I could get cooked. Like every battle is like, bro, I never know what this person's gonna come with,
To go to the Mook battle right quick, Iron. A lot of people, I remember that conversation was like, Iron sounds very melodic in his raps, but I'm like, he kind of rap like that in certain other battles though. In the Eness battle, go back. I thought you had melodies a little bit in the Eness battle.
Right.
Even you doing all that and shit though. You know what I mean? Was it the 5 rounds? In hindsight, now, do you wish you didn't take the 5 rounds? Because I know that was Mook's idea, right?
Nah, it was my idea. Like I wanted it to be like to be honest. I love Smack DVD, and I'm like, yo,
okay,
Mook, me and Mook been going back and forth for years. Like, I want this to be like Mook and Mills. I want this to be that type of vibe.
I got you.
But to be honest, I was just not as tuned into the battle rap energy at that time, and I just didn't understand the vibe at that moment and understand. Like, again, it's one thing to come from the background I did and then watch these battles on YouTube, having not really been to a URL event since the first one. I think the first URL event was one of the, I've been to a few.
You had a cipher, right? You also know
Mook and Arsenal, where Math battle T-Rex and Big T with the LeBron.
X Factor, I think, battle that card also. Exactly.
I was there for that. That was a way different energy than Summer Madness. So I just honestly completely misjudged the situation, and I was in music mode, and because I'm someone who likes to push the boundaries every time, and because I've had those, like I said, those moments where it's like, yo, everybody used to be rapping this way, then this battle happens, yo, now people change, yo, battles used to happen like this.
Yeah.
I always want to bring something new, and sometimes to my own detriment, because, you can try to reinvent the wheel while someone else is rolling past you. You know what I mean? Doing the same thing, repeating the same cycle. So I felt like, I have to bring, and at that time I was working on the Killer mixtape with Green Lantern.
Yeah, I know you and Green Lantern did music together. Absolutely. I remember that. Yep.
So on that project, I'm doing like a million different flows on that project. You know what I mean? So I think it's only on YouTube. Like, I like making the art. I do a bad job of promoting and distributing it, right? So I think it's only on YouTube. But if you listen to that project, it's like a million different flows that I'm using, and I'm trying different styles. So in my mind, I'm like, yo, that's the chamber that I'm going to bring to this. And it just wasn't the right application. You know what I mean? I think the type of lyricism I was going with, the layered, the subtlety of the wordplay, the structure of the rounds and the storytelling, the flow and the melodies, it was just wrong for that stage and that environment. And then the perfect storm of, that whole event started 7 hours late.
Yeah, because I think I remember on Twitter, it was like 1 o'clock and 12 o'clock at night, and cats are still down. Like, yo, why is Summer Madness is still popping off? And it's
7 hours behind, no exaggeration.
Jeez.
The venue air conditioning stopped working, and the bar ran out of liquor, and they stopped serving drinks. And this is after Lux and Calico. Lux and Calico went earlier in the night. So it was just a bad scenario. Like, I don't think any battle was going to be good in that moment. And then again, none of that is excuses. Like, and none of that is me taking away from Mook and what he did in that moment, and where I fell short in that moment. I can't take away none of that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and you can only regret shit for so long until you just learn from it. There was definitely a time where I just hated that. I still don't like that moment. You know what I mean? Of course. But there was a time where it was like, fuck, bro, like, my legacy is so clean. I have this.
Is that your first clear loss you felt? Your first clear loss you felt?
My first one since I was like just getting my feet wet. You know what I'm saying? For sure. Definitely my first clear loss, on the world stage. And and bro, like, I'm a person who likes to create, and like, you see somebody like Jay-Z and Nas who are still working on the painting, right? It's like, it's one thing to write a bar. It's one thing to write a verse and be in a cipher. It's another thing to put 3 verses together and make a song. Another thing to make an album, and another thing to make a legacy of years where you're telling a story over that arc. And I had felt like, what I've always tried to do with battle rap is to tell a story that's longer than the verse, so that story leads into the artistry and is kind of, one of these bigger narratives. And I felt like, damn, bro, like, if I had lost and it had just been a great battle,
right,
that time, I felt like this could be the final chapter of this battle story I'm telling. and this music chapter that I'm launching into. And so it just felt like I had fucked the story up. I fucked the painting up. And I was so regretful of that. But obviously now, you know, I'm happy with the trajectory and just, you know, the story of taking a loss that big and wearing it, not crying about it, and you know, being on some man shit to be like, yo, like even now saying, yo, I'm not taking nothing from Mook, and being able to represent honor, not in the ring, but just how you carry it, and then coming back to the table and being humble enough to be like, oh, I don't need to come back and headline Summer Madness again. I need to work my way back up to show them that, yo, because don't let it get lost on anybody that me and Mook headline Summer Madness, the biggest Summer Madness ever. So people can look back in hindsight and paint that as an L, but you still have to be like, yo, the white boy from the Upper West Side headlined Summer Madness against Murder Mook. Like, I kicked and clawed and fought my way to be the top person there to bring Mook back out. And it's me and Mook headlining the biggest. Hitman undercard, where Loaded Lux is the undercard, where Calico is the undercard, where John the Don is the undercard. Eness is the undercard. Serious Jones is the undercard. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't play. So for me to go from that to like, you know what, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna be on a Smack volume series, because if the last time I was on URL Smack was headlining at the top of the top against Murder Mook, watch me start again from the trenches, a new series, DVD era type vibe, and I'm gonna fight my way back. And you know, that to me, being able to tell that story, and show people, yo, you could get beat up and you could stand up again and start from scratch. You know, I love that. I love that part of the storyline, even though that the Mook battle is always gonna hurt. That's a wound. Salt is always gonna have that's never gonna scar over.
Right. So let me go here right quick. So 2012, I believe that battle was, right? You and Mook, right?
Yep.
So you took what, 3-year hiatus, I think?
I think 3. I think I battled Daylight in 2015, maybe.
Battle Daylight. Now, before you battled Daylight, are you watching battles? What are you doing? Are you doing music? Are you just getting away from battle rap? Are you like,
I was working
going back a little bit?
Music, you know, I had my son, so I was doing life stuff. I was working on the project with Green Lantern. And then I shifted focus for a little bit, really much more heavily to the production business, the crew staffing business that I have in New York, which is, you know, when I was doing music, I was working freelance labor, just driving trucks, forklifts, helping set up and break down events. And I started my own labor crew where I would bring my own people with me instead of me get hired as part of a 30-person crew. They hire me and I bring the homies. And that, you know, over time, it really took off because we were a way different vibe than any other crew. You know, it's real thoughtful, intelligent, hardworking people that get busy, and it's a different vibe. And so it took off. You know, we're the biggest non-union crew in New York City, period. Like, we can break down a New York Marathon. You know, we're about to do summer streets in New York. It's like 5 weeks where they shut down the streets, and we have, you know, dozens and dozens of people that work for the company setting up and breaking down these events all over the city. You know, when the Pope came to New York, we set up all the barricades up Fifth Avenue, all in Central Park to, you know, for the Pope's visit. So I was really focusing on that, and I was not super tapped into battle rap. You know, I got drawn back in by, you know, Cassidy versus Diz, and moments in the culture. And then even, you know, I had heard about Daylight like shitting on stage, and I was like, when I heard about it, I was like, this makes me glad that I'm not in, like, this is why I don't fuck with this shit no more. You know what I'm saying? But once I really locked in and then really watched Daylight battles and understood his level of lyricism, and then, you know, I just started to be like, oh shit, like, they're really rapping now, like the wordplay. Yeah. Because if you go back and watch me versus Math, there's some bars I'm saying that people in the room aren't even reacting to because they don't understand the wordplay. Fast forward, you know, that's how everybody raps. Wordplay that everybody uses.
Oh man.
Okay.
Right.
Let's get it. and it got me reinvigorated to do it. And I felt like Daylight was such a weird one that
were you nervous?
Yeah, like people wouldn't have a horse in the race. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's the thing. Again, about Mook, about Lux, about the people who are great, about Hollow. Like they understand narrative and they understand storyline, and that's something that I understand too. So I knew if I come back, it can't be against somebody. I couldn't come back against Diz, who like Diz fans are gonna want him to crush me, and then people who don't like Diz are gonna want me to crush him. It's too emotional. Daylight was a neutralizing opponent where people were like, what? I don't get it. This will be interesting. And so now we get to just be dope, and it doesn't have to be so weighted in the storyline. And so that's why I felt like
the anticipation to hear what you had to say was very at an all-time high, sir. I remember that when you
and so it was like you made it more mystery. And Daylight is one of the most lyrical, layered MCs in the game. So it allowed me to it's like if people are excited about him, they're gonna get this shit. That I always want to rap layered. I don't want to dumb it down for the big stage. So that was a good way to just transition back into the.
So Daylight was next. Magic is next, right?
Daylight, Magic. No, Daylight, then Diz.
Then Diz. Yeah, now the Diz battle, I love that battle. I'm not going to lie.
And shout
that battle is crazy.
Shout to Bishop Brigante and everybody tapping with him because he's
that's my guy. Shout out Bishop, man.
He's fighting cancer right now. Yeah. He could definitely use all the emotional and financial.
Absolutely, man.
And not only is he fighting cancer in his own body, but he's become politically active and has gone to the parliament in Canada and had a proposal brought to them to lower the age for screening for colorectal cancer because, the colorectal cancer is one in people age 35 and up is the fastest growing cancer. So like, even though cancer numbers are coming down above the age of 40, like people in their 30s are getting it more. And the screening age in America is 45 and screening age in Canada is 40. But a lot of people it's too late if by that age. So he's become very politically active to lower the screening age so we could have our insurance cover that type of screening. And for him to be fighting his own fight and then fighting on behalf of other people is just an incredible thing. So had to pause for the cause. Everybody tap in with Bishop.
Real talk, man. Shout out Bishop. He's part of the culture, man. Brother, man.
All of us and this weird shit, colon cancer, rectal cancer, like, there's people at home pausing these conversations, but we're grown and these are real.
I'm my 40s, sir.
Issues.
Man.
Like everybody should get screened. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna go get a colonoscopy just on the strength of.
I had one like 2 years ago. Trust me, man.
And it's just real life shit, bro. It's just real life shit. We got to be alive for these babies. We got to be alive for the people that count on us. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And Bishop is the one. Poison Pen and Bishop Brigante are probably the two people in battle rap who have pulled me into the ring the most times. And Pen is the one who brought me back to King of the Dot in general. And then because Pen's the homie, I didn't really want to talk numbers with him. And Bishop's the homie too, but I call him the negotiator. He's the negotiator. So he's the one who pushed me to battle Diz. No one's ready to battle Diz. Like, you're never ready to battle Diz. And I was like, bro, please, man, let me live before I battle Diz. This guy's been gunning for me for years. Like, that's the gift and the curse about being who I am is that I'm going to get the best from everybody, bro.
Right.
Like, everybody's going to be at their most focused and trying to kill me. So like, I got, so I was not trying to battle Diz, but
his first round was really sounding like he was a fan of you and coming from a fan's perspective.
Word. He is, and that's, that's dangerous too, though,
It is.
To be honest, like even me wearing like a Polo Bear T-shirt and the 5-panel, 1996 12-meter yacht club, like
right.
Vintage classic polo shit. Like I probably was in freestyle battles in wetlands in that same hat. It was, and even some of the bars in the beginning of the battle for me that were like maybe like corny for that era. I was like basically doing like time warp shit where I was like, yo, I'm gonna rock the vintage shit because I think Diz comes from this cloth in this era, and I have to step in, you know, I have to kind of backtrack a little bit and start in this kind of 90s era, and then by the end of the battle we'll be back modern, you know what I mean? So yeah, I mean that was incredible, man. And you know, rest in peace, Pat Stay.
R.I.P. Pat Stay, man. Love that dude, man.
Yeah, Pat. I remember Pat coming up to me like, "Yo, you ready?" Because I was like, "I think so," and he was like, "Don't think so, bro, because Diz is focused. He
was focused, boy.
He was like in great shape, you know, cut, like, you know what I mean? Like he was really
top 3 Diz ever. Top 3 Diz ever, in my opinion.
Which not for
I was dumping though, man.
The biggest compliment that I could get, you know, is like for someone to be at their best against me,
right?
Like literally the biggest compliment out there. And you know, that was Battle of the Year on King of the Dot that year.
It was.
And then the next year I battled Rum Nitty on URL.
Now stay there with the Rum Nitty battle.
Yeah.
How did you feel that people was poo-pooing on that battle when it got announced?
I loved it.
It was a classic. Right?
Bro, I loved it because I hate the pressure of, you know, the value of being anonymous and going to a battle somewhere. And like you said, people being like, this white kid can rap like that. That value, first of all, that's mad fun. You know what I'm saying? It's like anybody who does anything, you skateboard, you hoop, you know, like whatever it is, show up and have people expect less from you and get to surprise them with how good you are at something is awesome. You know, even 5-year-old kids want to do, you know, you want to be nice at the rope swing.
Of course, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So I thrived when I was anonymous because I just knew I was dope and wanted to cut people's heads off. You know what I'm saying? It was so nice to be the underdog again, bro. Because
you were surprised that were you pissed off a little bit? Like, yo, why y'all acting like nobody was happy about the battle when it got announced?
Yeah. I mean, a little bit because I'm like, you know, I recognize that battle rap is what have you done for me lately? Hip hop is what have you done for me lately? It gets younger and younger, you know what I mean? So it's a wake up call because, you know, at our age, you know, at any age, the years go faster.
Yes.
Every year.
Yes.
So, to me, 3 years is nothing. 4 years is nothing at that time. But you have a whole generation of kids that were battle rap fans who started getting into battle rap while I was gone. You know what I mean? So I have no idea. So, you know, I was a little surprised, but like I said, it's way easier when the bar is set low.
Wow.
I feel comfortable because I'm like, bro, they don't expect nothing. All I can do is be better than they expect now.
The battle is so fucking phenomenal, man.
And then from the storyline perspective, for it to have gone that way, it just created such a better energy. You know what I mean? Right? Like, imagine everybody was excited about that battle. Like, it wouldn't have been the same. People, like, there was because even in the room, people are like, all right, like, this is going to be weird, you know? Like, but then you can feel that they're like, okay, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, you feel the room change.
Yeah,
and real. I just think it was a great scenario to set up a moment of greatness for me and Nitty and you know, Smack and everybody to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? Like,
wow.
Yeah. And again, just to tie that together, the things that I'm proud of is being able to have those moments throughout time. Also being able to be at Scribble Jam and being able to be on the DVDs and bragging rights and be on Smack and be on Fight Club, because when you think about, when you narrow down the people who are current now, how many of them have actually been on Smack DVD, that number starts to shrink. How many of the people who are on Smack also on Fight Club, the number starts to shrink. And then when you get to how many of those people also were in Scribble Jam, it's just me. You know what I'm saying? So
that's facts, though.
So to have the Battle of the Year on King of the Dot one year, and then have the battle of the year on URL the next year, for me, that was like made me feel like I still am who I am. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was a dope moment for me.
Were you pissed about the Averb battle not going down?
Yeah, at the time I was, you know what I mean? But I understand, I understand cowardice, and I understand, I get it. I'm a bad man, you know what I'm saying? And I know that's how the cookie crumbles and shit. And it's, I think it happened the way it was supposed to happen. You know what I mean? Things go how they go. But I was, I was ready. I was ready, but I'm not tripping off it.
The surf battle, how much did you want that though?
That I was way more disappointed about, because that was going to be crazy. Like,
yo, I don't know if you remember what you told me. You told me you're gonna kick Surf's ass. I don't know if you told me. I said, yo, Surf
down his leg, bro, and he knew it. Free Surf all day, bro. Free Surf.
Absolutely, man.
And I really fuck with Surf. He and I spoke afterwards and stuff, and like, I definitely support Surf, and I rock it. I was gonna be shit down his leg.
Right. But that's the one you wanted, though, right?
Yeah, because it was gonna be one, like, it was gonna be an ill one. He's a huge name. He's a big star. It's another kind of like, he was in a lane where it's just an ill matchup. You know what I mean? And I was excited about the material that I had for him. You know what I mean? I think that's part of it too. Is like, I just like the bars, bro, and the writing and the concepts, and I was excited for that. And so, anytime they say one of the most difficult things about being an artist is that you got to kill your babies. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything you make, you're not going to actually fully manifest. So like, if you have a bar or a round or a concept that's good for that moment, and then the moment passes, sometimes you got to lay to rest something that you think is beautiful. You know what I mean? So I definitely was disappointed by that. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? Free Surf. And yeah.
Was there ever discussions with you and Lux to have a battle?
Yeah, hell yeah. Lux called me out back in the day. He had a whole press conference. Like, he did a press conference calling me out. For whatever reason at the time, I was like, oh, I'm a battle Mook or Lux. And Mook was the one that I guess was like a bigger, like, kind of lightning rod. Like, in culturally, it felt like, oh, that's higher up there. And then, me and Lux, it's been in talks for mad long. He's one that's still on my list, but because we're both in that pen category.
Yes.
And I think especially now that he battled Rum Nitty, and I see people like comparing and contrasting, like, me versus Rum Nitty versus Lux versus Rum Nitty, or putting my rounds versus his rounds against Nitty.
That's going on, sir.
We'd have to do that a certain way. I think maybe that's the 5-round battle that me and Mook, would have been, but wasn't type. You know what I mean? Or that's the DVD battle that that's got to happen in the right way culturally. You know what I mean? But Lux would be, that's a crazy challenge. I'd have to get super back in that bag that I was in for the Rum Nitty battle, of just being hyper focused and making sure that the writing is like out of control, and like, you got to be at that level with what Lux is going to bring to the table, because he's Kung Fu Kenny. He's like that. He's the one who's like going to really take it further than anyone will take it. And so, I couldn't shortchange that battle. I can't be out of touch. I can't be, rusty. Like, that got to be taken seriously.
21 days to prep for JC. Was that, how you felt about that?
21 days. What, the me versus
JC battle? Yeah.
Because Surf. Yeah. I think that was the best battle. They say that was the best battle on the worst Summer Madness.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst Summer Madness. I agree with that. Best
battle on Summer Madness, and I have the best battle on the worst Summer Madness.
Yeah.
So, the crowd was mad weird. It was in Vegas, which was kind of a weird place in general for it. It wasn't like packed out. So I think it was kind of underwhelming, but 21 days, you know what I mean? I think we smoke shit, and some of the writing in the bars in that battle is like out of control. Like, if I reread it or if I watch it and I like hear the shit back, I'm like, damn, like I was even, actually there's some Lux shit in that battle too. I had some bars with referencing Lux, because that was when JC was really campaigning.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like some because Lux's nick, they call Lux Pop Lux. It was like, oh, Lux, Pop heard him crying from his crib and chose to Ferberize him. So people, again, our era, Ferber was like a scientist who came up with the idea that you let your kids cry themselves to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, at least for white people, it was like mad popular to like Ferberize your children, which meant let them cry themselves to sleep so they can build toughness and get better at going to sleep. And so it was like, Pop heard him crying from his crib and chose to Ferberize him. You know what I mean? Like let him cry himself to sleep. And Lux is Pop Lux. So there's some Lux bars in that battle too. So I'm sure somebody could put together a supercut of Lux bars where he's taking shots at me and calling me out.
Yeah.
And then little things I said about him throughout the years and build up some hype for that battle because it's going to cost somebody. So they got to get some momentum behind it. You know what I mean? To get that bag up.
So here's the $1 million question here, because you've been here for a long time. So let's go here.
Yeah.
Are you going to come back?
I definitely, what I've been saying is that I want to battle. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm only going to come back if I really feel it and it's the right like scenario, because I don't want anything like my favorite battle of mine ever is the Rum Nitty battle. I literally don't want to do anything that's not that good or better. Mm-hmm. So like, because I feel like I'll be shortchanging myself, shortchanging the culture. And I really got to be in that headspace because I do too many things now to be able to fit the emotional and the like time and the focus to get myself back in that zone,
right?
And to really do what I know I'm capable of. I'm not going to shortchange myself or the culture, if it's not really that shit. Right. So, there are names on my list, you know what I mean? And there's unfinished business, and I love it. I love having great battles. I love incredible moments, but the shit is also mad stressful and takes a lot of energy, bro. And and the way battle rap is these days, there's a lot of extra shit. So, and I don't like any of the extra shit. I don't like to be part of any of the extra shit. Not that I don't enjoy being entertained by it. I just don't like to be part of it. I'm not messing like that. But so I'd have to make sure that whatever I do has to fit. It has to fit in battle rap, but it also has to fit with me. You know what I'm saying? It has to sit right with me. So I have to find the right type of energy that I would want. And it, I don't know that I would just step back in and be on a card. You know what I mean? That might not be the way that I do it because that might not be the right energy.
Who's your list?
I mean, who do you think is on the list, or who do you think should be?
Lux, Rock. Would you rematch Mook?
I would be open to it, but it's never something I ever going to call for necessarily because, like I said, I think I asked him to come outside. He came outside and did what he did. So it's not in my that's not for me to really say, and I don't particularly think about it. I don't know that I would be motivated to do it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Lux, Rock, those are ones that they exist on the list. You know what I mean?
Have leaks call you? Does leaks call you? How many times a year does the leaks call you to check
call me all the time.
Check your temperature out? You know what I mean? See where you at with yours.
They call me and I tell them a similar thing. I'd be like, man, I want to come back. Throw the names out there, throw the numbers out there. I don't really move off of money, but everybody got to, there's a number that
you deserve. Yeah.
There's a point at which if somebody said a certain number, I'd be like, even if I didn't really feel like doing it, there's a threshold. So I entertain it and I'm like, yeah, maybe but and they call, but yeah.
I don't know. Are you familiar with Real Sick?
Hell yeah, bro. Real Sick is
you and Real Sick gonna be a dope battle, I think. So
we've talked about that. I
really,
it's incredible.
That's my guy right there. That's my guy.
Nah, he's ill, bro. He's cut from the block, and he's a whole different, his own lane, his own energy. Really raps. You know what I mean, and also really disciplined. Like you talk about the Kendrick Lamar, Dizaster, Loaded Lux, even Hollow. People who it's not just that they're naturally charismatic but they're gonna train and they're gonna work. You know, he
Mm-hmm.
comes from that cloth. I've talked to Lex about that. I feel like that should be on his platform.
Yeah, so iBattle, absolutely. That'd be dope, iBattle, yeah.
Because that's what I would want. You know, I love that type of shit, bro. Like I've been I always try to pull up to Lex's battles, and we haven't connected the dots fully, but like
I like Fable, I like Homeschool, I like my man Low Spring from Brooklyn. I like those brothers.
I don't know him, but the other names I definitely rock with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Real Sick versus Eddie I.
Okay.
I sent that battle to Jay Black, like, yo, this battle of the year. Like, you got to review this type shit. You know what I mean?
Shout out my brother Jay Black. That's my guy. That's my brother.
Our battle is super. The energy is dope.
Right.
So I think me and Sick would be, you know, those are the things I would like to do. Like, I would like to battle on those leagues. When I go to some of the bigger battle events these days, I don't be on stage and shit. But I go to like Battle Academy. I live in Philly, and I go to Battle Academy, and that shit is like, you know, that's like in the hood, like in North Philly. And
shout out to this, man.
Yeah, you know, like I'll be in a small room because I just like that energy. I just go to kick it. You know what I mean? Kick it, smoke, build with people.
Right.
And I don't be.
Weren't you in a battle at Born Legacy when Nitty battled Trez and all that? Weren't you in the building for that? When Nitty battled Trez and I think Chess and JC, I think. Am I bugging? Or was it Chess?
Was I?
Was it Big T and Mike P? Am I bugging? Was it?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, you in the building for that, right?
Big T. Yup. Yeah, Nitty and Trez. Yes, I was there for that. I was there for that. Yeah. So, you know, just to say that I like those small rooms.
Right.
And I think, you know, I want to do stuff that's dope and interesting and has character, not just the same. I don't want to do the same thing. So I think me and Sick would be dope.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Nah, he's super fire.
That's my guy right there. How do you feel about the Chilla battle? Because I love you and Chilla, bro.
Fire too. That was another one that was like another kind of like last minute 3 weeks type shit. And shout to Bishop who put that together too. Yeah, that was right after Nitty. That was a dope one, man.
That was a dope battle you and Chilla. It was a fire battle.
And it was at the same spot, the Middle East in Boston, which is like a legendary club, you know, hip hop or legendary music venue where mad hip hop shows happen. And that's where I battled B Magic. And so I feel like, you know, again, with the storytelling, it was like B Magic was writer's block, Nitty was writer's block, Chilla was writer's block. You know, me coming back, and you know, for Massacre, back to Boston. You know, 1 year is Magic, the next year is Chilla. I just like little story, you know, little side stories, side quest, little vibes. So I fuck with that battle. And Chilla's another one who made me want to come back to battle rap. You know what I mean? Like seeing
Chilla's nice.
It's crazy because him versus JC happened the night before me and Mook, and him versus JC.
Wow, fire, classic
era. Yeah, it wasn't until later that I tapped back in and caught up on that, and I was like, damn, like.
Yeah, they was wild and JC and Chilla.
Crazy. You know what I mean?
If memory serves me right though, did you battle JC then a week later you battled Big K? Am I bugging?
I think so, yeah. Yup, I think it was JC and Big K a week later. Yeah. But so anybody who stays active now, bro, because that's how that might not be the era that I come from, but bro, these days motherfuckers is active. You know, shout to Tay Rock because he battles.
Yeah, he's wild in this shit. He's wild,
crazy, and like this is somebody who could sit back and chill, and he's battling everybody and anybody, and it's back to back to back. So, you know, shout to A Ward, shout to all the people who just don't stop, bro.
Yeah,
that shit is not easy. You know what I mean? But yeah, 1 week later, it was JC. That was crazy.
That was crazy. So.
I was trying to get champion of the year. I can't front.
I think you were ranked. Were you ranked in the top 5?
Yeah, I was like, I was top 5, top 3, something like that. So
yeah, top 3, top 5. Right. So there's a possibility you might come back. You're not fully retired. Can we say that?
I wouldn't say like, oh, I'm never coming back. I like I said, I really want to do it. You know what I mean? Like I'll see it and be like, damn, I would love to do that. But I know in my mind I know what goes into it, and I know the lengths I would have to go to get myself in like fighting shit.
In that mode, right? In that mode.
Yeah. And you know, you gotta really, it's negative, bro. Shit is mad negative. You know what I mean?
Trust
like
me, I know, brother. This culture. It's changed a lot.
It's changed a lot. And even before all this extra, the extracurricular shit, you still have to be like, I signed a contract. I'm going to spend the next 3 months thinking about all the things that are negative about myself that someone else is going to say.
Woo!
Like, it's kind of a dark mind state to be in.
Yeah, bro.
I don't know if the general audience appreciates how much, and I don't mean appreciate like, oh, y'all got to appreciate, but just fully understands and embraces like how fucking dark the mind state can be. Like
Verb talks about that all the time. Verb talks about that all the time. The mindset that you guys have to go into to prepare for these battles and like what it does to your body and shit like that. He talks about all the time. You know what I mean?
I'm literally like a worse husband, a worse father, like everything I could possibly, anything that requires patience and poise, I'm worse at the second I sign the contract. Because I always use this metaphor of like, you ever have an air conditioner that's set on like money saver where it goes off and on because it's like when it gets cold enough, it turns off. And
Absolutely, all the time.
And then when the air conditioner turns off, you'd be like, damn, that shit was loud. Like, I didn't even realize how loud that was in the background until it turned off.
Yeah, right.
That battle is going to be a loud-ass air conditioner in the background. As soon as you sign that contract, you might not even know it, but you got that like that bill that you know you're supposed to pay that you haven't paid.
Yes, sir.
And that just stresses you out even when you're not thinking about it. That background battle, when I'm taking my son to school, when I'm doing whatever I'm doing, that air conditioner's on in the background, bro, and that shit is stressful. Like, and you start to think about all the things you don't like about yourself and how well someone is going to highlight all those things about you. Like, yeah, that shit is super stressful. So that's why I have to be in the mental space to be, to perform at the level that I want to perform at. You know what I mean? Because I'm not gonna step in halfway. You know what I mean? And even with the Mook battle, I was not halfway, and I still missed the mark. So I'm not gonna let that happen again. You know what I'm saying? And I got to be in the right space. And then creatively, I'm just really invested in what I'm doing with Cornerstone.
Right. That's the hard as that. I got you.
Yeah, exactly. So I got to chase that. I'm always at my worst when I chase opportunity before creativity. You know what I'm saying? For me, when it comes to art, culture, I just have to be, I got to feel it, bro. I got to be motivated to make something. And then money comes behind it, or the look comes behind it. Like I said, I didn't even upload any of my battles to YouTube myself. Wow. I don't like promo. I don't like self-promotion. I like to make the art. You know what I mean? Like, and everything that I've gotten that's been constructive happened from a genuine place. You know what I mean? And if right now I want to design, T-shirts for Ghostface, and I want to make a hat for Stove God, and I want to make an art piece for Chris Brown, and manage New Vegas Films, and be in the studio with different people. Like, that's where my heart is at. I got to chase that, because that's going to be the most genuine, authentic, outcome. And that's, even if people think, sometimes people think they want something from you, they don't know. You know what I mean? It's our job to go out and take the risks. People didn't want Kanye to release 808s.
I am one of those guys.
and look where we're at now. And
everyone took Kanye's recipe.
And like, people don't know what they want until you do it. And so I'd rather be that person who's like, something different. You know what I mean? And this next chapter with Corner Store, I think is going to be, as great as the battle rap shit, because like I said, and if people fuck with the battle rap shit and the attention to detail and the meaning and the significance and the rewind, find there's more to find type shit, like, you're gonna fuck with this stuff. Because like I said, every little detail I pay attention to, what type of tag is in the shirt, what type of, what's the weight of the cloth, what's this, this is one of the logos, the icon. Like, it's a corner store, but it's also a face. It's a blockhead. You hang out on the block at the corner store, and literally, like, no matter, a corner store is a one-stop shop. You get your nutrition there. You get poison there for poison, like liquor and cigarettes and like rat poison. When you got mice in your crib, you go down to the corner store and get that. You get the news at the corner store. You know what I'm saying? You get game from the people around the corner store. So literally, like, everything that I do creatively is gonna have that meaning and just that substance to it. That if you fuck with me on anything, you know, go to my Instagram at Iron Solomon. If you're not following me already, look in the bio for the link to the corner store shit and a link to the labor crew too, the groundwork operations, just to see what we doing with the crew, because even the business, you know, has a social component to it. We have a partnership with the parole office in New York where we provide employment for people coming home from being incarcerated. We don't hire people externally. All of the administrative people in the company who do, you know, client management and quote jobs and do staffing are people who might not even have a high school degree, but they started with us doing labor.
Wow.
We taught them how to use a computer, you know, taught them how to use software. And you're going to see the homies, like you're going to see people in pictures as part of the labor crew that you see in battle rap, that you see in hip hop culture. So if anybody wants to work with us, you know, be a part of the crew and get money and have a flexible employment schedule. Clients want to hire us. Like, you know, I think it's good for people to see the culture represented in a business capacity outside of music, because, you know, we're doing something different in the business field. So definitely people, you know, tap in with the crew company too. So yeah.
All right, I appreciate you, brother. You gave me a classic conversation, my brother. I appreciate it, my brother.
3 hours, and please shout to you for being persistent, because I'm all over the place. We had a time lined up. I had to cancel last minute. You didn't trip. You followed up. Start ghosting me.
We got real life things going on, brother. Come on, we got kids, got a woman. I know how that go, man.
I just want you to know that I respect and appreciate you and your time, and I respect and appreciate your persistence because and your communication, because in hip hop, in culture in general, but in hip hop in particular, we're so used to using coded language, and we're used to communicating with people who grew up right next to us and assuming that, you know, a lot gets lost in translation.
Yes.
And a lot of people's feelings get hurt off of misunderstanding and not explaining or not giving room for, like, oh, this person ain't get back to me yet because maybe they're busy or maybe they're stressed and don't know what to say.
Right.
And they're avoiding it, but not because they don't respect me, but because they don't have an answer. Or maybe this person's just mad ADHD, or, you know, like,
right.
You don't know. You know?
Yeah.
So I just want to, you know, salute you for always being genuine, always communicating, always having an informed and intelligent opinion.
I appreciate that, King.
Really, you know, we've had conversations genuinely for years.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely, bro.
Grow and expand, and you're an amazing presence in the culture, and I always appreciate you. So thank you for being persistent and making sure.
Love, bro. Love, always, brother. You know that. I appreciate you, King.
All day, likewise, brother.
Legend.